Welcome to the Get Your Life Together Girl podcast, the ultimate blueprint to self-love and inner peace. I'm your host, Danielle Van. As a cognitive behavioral therapist, life coach, meditation teacher, and author, it's my passion and joy to help you shift your mindset and create a lifelong revolution. We are continuing our 4-week conversation about how to uncover what we need and want. This is a mission to reconnect with yourself as we move into 2025. It's incredible to think that a new year is upon us, but now is the time to uncover and identify what you really want in your life. In order to do that, we're taking a one-on-one deep dive into some powerful exercises that will help you connect with your true self, tap into your desires, and give you clarity about what you need and how to make empowered decisions to move forward. So grab a pen and a notebook. It's time to reflect and get started on what you truly want. Let's not waste another second. The Get Your Life Together Girl podcast starts right now. I spend a lot of my time guiding people into looking at their global situation, meaning the entirety of their lives, and then going back into something small, getting into just one small thing. The majority of our lives is spent thinking about the big things. But when we think about one small thing, when we narrow our thought process, we give ourselves a path. We allow what we need and want to unfold. And today, as we continue the conversation about what we need, what we want, how we want to feel, and how we're going to get there, let's pinpoint into need. What is a need? A need is something that is fundamental. It is things like food and water and safety. And a lot of times when we talk about what we need, we mix up what we need and what we want. And yet, needs are often the thing that we will let go of. We let go of it in hopes that our wants will be the fulfillment of our needs. And that doesn't really work that way. So in order to really get down to what we need, we're going to assess where you currently are. We're going to identify if there's anything that's missing. And then we're going to clarify your core needs. And then we're going to take action, right? We're going to pick an area of focus. We're going to pick just one thing. Because in order to get into a space of an empowered life, you have to identify what's working and what's not, what you want to create, and really where you want to go, not only today, but tomorrow. If you are someone who's been taking a healing journey, a lot of times we get into this space where the healing work is done. We have a lot of resolution, but there's this blank space where we have to fill in the blanks. We have to recreate. And that seems harder for a lot of people than the actual healing work. What do I want now? Why is this so difficult? I don't know who I am now. And in order to really know that, we have to start looking at where we are. So grab that piece of paper and let's do a little life inventory. I talk about the 5 masters all the time: mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, and financial areas of our lives. And so first things first, before we uncover what you truly need, we need to understand where you are in those 5 masters. This is sort of like having a map of your current location before you figure out where you want to go, right? So I want you to take a moment and I want you to write down these categories or think about them in your mind and answer some of these questions that I'm going to give you now. So in your relationships, what do your relationships look like right now? Are they bringing you joy? Do they drain your energy? What do you need and want right now? In your career, if you're working, how do you feel about the work that you're doing? How do you feel about your professional life? Are you passionate about it? Or is it just simply providing the basic needs and wants of your life? How about in your health, your well-being? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you nurturing your mind, your body, and your spirit? Are you focused on the vehicle, right? This thing that gets you through your human experience. When it comes to your personal growth, are you challenging yourself? Are you inspired? Do you feel stuck? What does growth look like for you right now? Is it your focus? In terms of your finances, how are you feeling about your financial situation? Is it something you're avoiding? Do you have clarity and control over your money? Do you know what you need and want when it comes to the financial stability? Is it sort of a pipe dream, or is there focus on it? Is there a plan? And are you sticking to that plan? And when it comes to your spirituality or your connection to something bigger than yourself, what sense of connection is there? Do you have a sense of belonging, whether that is with religion or nature or your own soul, your own inner strength? I want you to take a few minutes and jot those down. Find out where you stand in these areas and be honest, right? There's no judgment here. I just want you to have an honest assessment. Is there something specific that jumped out at you when I said relationships, career, health and well-being, physical self, personal growth, finances, spiritual connection? Did something sort of ring your bell in that moment, right? And I want you to be very specific about where maybe you are dissatisfied and make a note of that. Or even where are you focused and feeling the best? A life inventory is such a powerful thing that allows you to assess what you need and want at any time, right? It doesn't have to be at the end of the year. It can be at any point. In fact, doing this even once a week to kind of gear yourself into action is not a terrible thing either. Once you have that, I want you to really think about where you stand. You know now kind of what is working for you and what isn't based on those areas of your life. You have a snapshot of how you feel and how you're showing up. And then you have to think about, what do you need? What do I need in my life? Am I missing things? Am I out of alignment? Am I in a space where my basic needs are being met? And then do I have greater needs that really need to be focused on, that go beyond just having the roof over my head or clothes on my back or, food to eat? There's needs for physical touch, needs for physical connection, need for relationships, need for feeling validated, need for personal growth. Where are you in those things? And a lot of times people struggle with that need question and especially struggle with identifying what is actually missing. And so last week in that episode, we talked about desire and value. If you haven't listened to it, I want you to go back because we did this desire mapping. We really looked at what desire in life meant. And you need to understand that now because you're going to use those, pieces of information to answer what's missing in my need factor. So once you know that, I want you to ask yourself these powerful questions. Really, this conversation is all about you doing the work, right? I am not saying, hey, you know what? Here's how you do this and here's how you're going to get there. I'm telling you, these are the things that you need to do a deep dive with the self. No one can do this work for you. This is all you. You against you, you with you, right? So I want you to identify what's missing. What desires do you have? Think about really what you need for yourself, not what others expect of you or what you should want and need, but what would a fully fulfilled life look like for you and what needs need to be met in order for you to have that. Super important to know. If your relationships are a mess right now, it could be that you need more authentic connection, moments together, things that fill you up. I want you to really think about that. What does a fulfilling relationship look like? What needs need to be met? What does a fulfilling career look like? What does a physical self look like? What does financial needs look like? What is missing? What would make you feel more connected to yourself? That's the next question. Is it more concrete routine? Would that help you meet your needs? Perhaps there's something that you've been neglecting, a relationship you need to nurture. What would make you feel more connected in that need factor of the self? And then where are you not feeling authentic? Is there a part of your life where you're not feeling like you're truly your realist self? That person that you really know that you need and desire to be? When you think about these questions, I want you to identify the needs that are missing, write them down on your piece of paper, or lock them in your head, because I want you to imagine your life 5 years from now. If those things were not met now, how do you think you would feel then? The answer should be terrible, unfulfilled, unable to really connect with my life the way that I want it to be. I want you to think about that. If I don't address my needs and I fast forward 5 years from now, is it likely that I have let go of a ton of other needs and wants? And the answer is yes. When we learn to give up on ourselves, we don't meet our needs, we do it in a blanket fashion. It's easy to give up on ourselves. It's easy just to do for others. So if you have this experience in your mind, this is what I want 5 years from now, what do you need to do to make that happen right now? Because today's action helps us change tomorrow. If I don't do anything today, I don't have results tomorrow. If I don't do anything right now, I don't have results in 6 months. And in 6 months, if I don't do anything, I don't have results in 1 year. I want you to think about that. Get smaller too. How do I feel in 5 years? What am I doing? Who am I spending time with? What does my daily routine look like? Write down these very clear and specific experiences, these visions that you have for yourself. Because this vision needs to be as your guiding light, right, in your journey to uncover what you need. If you see yourself failing, that is the pathway to know to course correct. If you see yourself thriving, you know what you need to do to get there. Here's the thing. When we take these vision journeys of ourselves, we do not see ourselves failing for the most part. We don't put in the negative. We don't put in the disaster. We don't think about the health scare. We don't think about the fact that we may lose our job or change careers. What we do is we put these grand experiences in place and we think that'll be nice. And we do nothing to get there. Get real. Get so real. If I do not take care of my blood pressure today, it's likely that I have a stroke or a heart attack in 5 years. So what do I need to do right now to take care of that? If I don't lose weight, then I'm going to see myself in 5 years even heavier and not in control. And maybe I'm diabetic. Maybe I'm in an experience that is very unhealthy. If I continue to spend like I do, will I lose my home in 5 years? Will I be living out of my car? These are huge, massive jumps, right? But we don't think about the negatives. If I do nothing else, if I change nothing else, will I be happy and satisfied in my life? If I'm not happy and satisfied right now, I sure as hell am not going to be happy and satisfied in 5 years. So think about it. What do you need? What is missing? It seems so small, and yet it is literally everything. When you have a sense of this ideal vision, it's time to dig a bit deeper into the core needs that are going to support that vision. If you are someone who often neglects your own needs while you prioritize everyone else In order to thrive, to get into your vision, you have to identify and then honor what you need in order to feel balanced, healthy, and fulfilled. And so when we look at that, we ask ourselves a number of other questions. You can see now that I'm telling you to deep dive by being an investigator, by self-exploring, right? To get into a space of true honesty with the self. And it's hard, right? It's not easy to get into a space of identifying what you need and want. It's not easy to feel the discomfort of knowing you're not showing up the way that you want to. But you have to uncover those core needs. So here are the questions that allow you to kind of start thinking in that path. And of course, change these in a manner that work for you. But here's just some pieces of guidance, right? So first question, what energizes me? Think about the moments when you fully feel alive, and don't say that you don't have any, because you have had a life, okay? And there have been times where you have felt energized, the energy of the experience, the energy of everything around you fed you, mind, body, spirit. So when was that? What does it look like? Identify who's around you. Is it you alone? Is it doing a certain activity? Is it pursuing a creative project? Is it spending time with loved ones? What energizes you? What makes you feel alive? That answer is a need that you have that needs to be met often, if not every day. And then I want you to think about what depletes you. What drains your energy? Is it a certain relationship? Is there a toxic trait that you have? Is your career feeling unsettled and unaligned? Are your self-care habits in the trash? What depletes you? For me, stress depletes me. It does for everyone, but sometimes people use stress as a motivating factor. For me, yes and no. Stress can really make me feel completely out of sorts. And so that is a depletion factor for me. Is that a depletion factor for you? A core need would be to do things that help me manage my stress. For me, that's running. It's yoga. It's physical exercise. It's journaling. It's meditation. You see where I'm going with this. What depletes you and what is the answer for that need to be met? What do you do in your daily life to feel nourished? Essentially, how do you show up for yourself? Get into these core experiences. And then I want you to tune into your gut, into your intuition. This is a piece of us that we often let go of, and we don't think of being a need. We have to tune into our inner self. This is the experience of our deep wisdom. It is our guidepost. Your intuition is an inner voice that guides you when you allow space for it to speak. It tells you what you need. In the noise of your everyday life, we lose connection with it. But that wisdom is there for you. So I want you to connect. I want you to find a comfortable seat, put the paper away, and I want you to close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths, center yourself. And I want you to ask yourself, what do I need in my life right now? What do you keep trying to tell me? Wait for the answer to come. You may not hear it immediately, and that's okay. Sometimes the answer comes in the form of emotions, or as images or sudden insight that pop into your mind. It's your job to pay attention. If you need to jot it down, do it. But I want you to really sit with yourself. This is something that I do every single day. I put my hand on my heart and I will often say, what do you need me to do? What are you asking me to do? How are you asking me to show up? And then I use these words. Use me as a vehicle. This is such an important way to meet my inner needs, my soul level need. And that's what I'm asking you to do. What do I need right now? Listen, wait. And if nothing comes, don't worry. That's normal. Trust that simply by asking, you're opening the door for your intuition to speak when the time is right. You've been in the car where all of a sudden something pops in your head and you're like, you know what, I really need to do that. That is the space of intuition speaking. You can even ask more specific questions if you feel like what do I need right now is too evasive, it's too big of a question and answer. Ask yourself, what do I need to feel more joy? What do I need to stop doing to create space for peace? Where do I need to shift? The more you practice tuning in, the easier it is to start hearing your intuition. Your needs are speaking to you all day long. You have to open the door in order for them to have space. And when you get through those pieces, you've gained some clarity. You know where you are. You know where you need to start focusing. And then it's time to take action. But before you dive into action, I want you to set very clear intentions. Intentions are powerful because they set the direction in which you want to focus. They're not goals, but rather the energy behind the goal. When you set your intention, you're aligning your mind, your body, your spirit toward meeting yourself, meeting your needs. So set the intention. Take a moment to revisit the reflections that you've had. What did you discover that you need more of? What do you truly know that will help you find the spirit of joy and peace in your life? And when you think about that, I want you to choose just one area to focus on. I don't want you to think about all 5 masters. I don't want you to think about every need that you uncovered. Just pick one. You know, what's the most important? If you had a scale from 1 to 10, which one is the number 10 for you? Pick that. And then set an intention. Powerful intentions sound like I intend to create more balance in my life by prioritizing my health. I intend to bring more peace and joy into my relationships by communicating openly. I intend to align my career with my passion and my talents. I want you to write it down. Speak it aloud to yourself. Make it clear, make it powerful, make it specific, and make it yours. This is yours. This is your need, your life, your experience. And when you have that intention, I want you to think of one small, tangible step that you can take to become closer to your intention. Maybe it's time that you schedule time for yourself. Maybe you have a conversation with a loved one. Maybe you sign up for a course. Maybe you go back to school. Maybe you say, it's time that I bet on myself. I have all these needs that are not being met, and I keep living a life that feels unfulfilling, and it's time. Think about what you need to do. Remember, big change comes from small, consistent action. It's not like you think of the goal and all of a sudden, boom, there it is. Your intention is the energy. Your action is the path. I want to say that again. Oh, that feels good, right? Your intention is the energy, but your action is the path. Where are you? What do you need? Are you showing up? You've just reflected on your life. You tuned into your intention. You tuned into intuition if you did this as an active practice, right? And if not, you will be, at least I hope. And you have the power now to begin manifesting the changes that you want. Manifest is action, right? It's intention, it's goal-driven, it's forward focus and forward action. Remember, discovering what you need is an ongoing journey. I said you can do this at any time. You have the power to do this. It requires a little bit of work, a little bit of patience, trust, commitment to yourself. But by continuing to check in with your needs, you stay aligned in your action, and that alignment helps you create the life that you desire. Now, I want you to do yourself a favor. I encourage you to take a few moments today to really do these exercises. If you didn't do it with me right now, pinpoint what you need. Go through this episode again. It's just 30 minutes long. You have the power to hit stop, do the work, and come back and hit play again. You allow yourself to truly create forward movement if you do this. If you're feeling called, you can share your insights with a trusted friend or in your journaling space, or hell, send me an email. getyourlifetogethergirlnow@gmail.com, right? Let me know where you are, because you're not alone in this process. There is a community of people walking this path with you. It's okay to be in the experience of, I know I need more. And I know that if I do these things, I will benefit so beautifully from the experience. If I know that I put my focus on growing, I will shine and I will feel enough. That is what life is about. You have the power to grow. You have the power to lean into what you need. You know what you want now. You know what you need. Next week, we're going to dive into, how do I want to feel? Of course, most people say, well, I want to feel good. I don't want to feel sad. I don't want to feel this way. I want to feel. No, we're going to get so specific so that we create another roadmap into feeling good, into your personal journey, into your intentionality, your intuition, your forward movement. Because at the end of this 4-week movement, my hope is that you've trusted yourself enough to know that you are the only person who can do the work, and you've trusted yourself enough to do the work. Because the next year has the potential to be everything you so desire. But it will not be that if you do not put focus and intention behind it. Because when you do, that is the essential step into getting your life together. Thank you so much for listening to the Get Your Life Together Girl podcast. If you've enjoyed these tips for bettering your life, please follow me on social media at Get Your Life Together Girl on Instagram, TikTok, Insight Timer, Clapper, Threads, Facebook, all the places. If you are looking for more, head to my website, getyourlifetogethergirl.com, where you'll find courses and downloadables, additional episodes of the Get Your Life Together Girl podcast, and so much more. I'd love for you to also take just a moment to write a review of this podcast, as it helps bring the message to others who may not know that this podcast exists. Ratings help put the show in front of others. Thank you for being such a valuable member of this community. Until we meet again, be kind to yourself and others.